Angela Rayner is a special breed, isn't she? I mean, she doesn't half talk crap like Starmer, but I can see where she got not being able to answer questions properly. In today's video, we have slurring Deputy Prime Minister completely avoid a question on Islam, whilst also showing she is not able to string a sentence together. I mean, is this the bar of British politics? As always, hit the like and subscribe button, and let's get into it. During the Housing and Communities questions in the House of Commons, Kemi Badenoch calls out Angela Rayner. Here's the clip.
Can the Right Honourable Lady give me her assessment of the Khan review into social cohesion?
Well, the Khan review into social cohesion is one part and element of what we need to do to get back to addressing the issues of community cohesion, as opposed to the divisiveness in the way in which the previous government looked at community cohesion. What I'd like to see, instead of the language and tone that we've seen from the Right Honourable members and others on her bench, is actually about the tone that the Right Honourable member previously took around how we can bring communities together, how we can work together to ensure that people can respect people's differences and celebrate what makes us British, and that's that we all have different places.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Right Honourable Lady has not read the Khan review, because if she had, that's not the answer she would have given. Anyway, the review talks about the incident at Batley Grammar School in 2021. The teacher there was failed by local police and the local council and had to go into hiding. Given the fears about the rise in Islamist sectarianism in communities like West Yorkshire, can she tell me, especially given that she hasn't read the review, what her plans are to make sure that incidents like that do not happen again?
Well, I have read the review, and maybe it was because the Minister was busy launching a leadership campaign earlier today. But the point I'm making is over the previous government's administration, there wasn't an element of community cohesion. There was constant division and stoking division. What I did as Shadow Education Secretary was trying to bring our education system together. What I'd like to see across education, across our department, across our government, is about how we can celebrate our differences, how we can bring communities together. I hope the Right Honourable Lady, if she is successful as leader of the opposition, works with us on...
As I said, is this the bar in British politics? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. In other news, Britain is set to launch a major review of its £500 million migrant deal with France in the wake of 12 migrant deaths, while attempting to cross the Channel and Labour's decision to axe the Rwanda deportation plan. Yvette Cooper ordered a full assessment of the agreement amid fears UK taxpayers are not getting value for money. The Home Secretary's decision comes amid a raft of other measures aimed at cutting costs, including the decision to axe the Tories' Rwanda plan, no longer use the Bibi Stockholm barge, and scrap plans to use RAF Scampton as housing. Under the current agreement made by former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, Britain is set to pay France £161 million this year and £176 million the next, to aid French police in preventing small boat launches from the beach. Included in the cost would have been a new detention centre, although the Sun understands that construction of the site had not begun. A Labour source told the publication, "We inherited all kinds of commitments from the Tories, including £700 million for a completely ridiculous scheme in Rwanda. We're looking at all sorts of projects and costs across government. This includes the £500 million the last government committed to spending in France." Plans to axe the deal also echo back to an election pledge made by Keir Starmer, who said, "All the reports I've seen on that initiative show that it's not proving effective, and I think that's shown by the numbers that we're seeing. Record numbers." The comment comes after 12 migrants died while attempting to cross the Channel. The small boat, believed to have been carrying up to 50 people, got into difficulty off Cap Gris-Nez, to the north of Le Portel, earlier this month. Emergency services were deployed to the location at around 11:30 a.m, with French authorities declaring most of the dead were from Eritrea or African countries. A pregnant woman and 6 children were among those who lost their lives in what is being described as the deadliest Channel crossing tragedy of the year so far. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper said of the deaths at the time, "What has happened off the coast at Le Portel is a horrifying and deeply tragic incident, and our hearts go out to the loved ones of all those who have lost their lives and all those who have been seriously injured. I am in touch with my counterpart in France, Gerald Darmanin, and am being kept updated on the situation. We pay tribute to the French Coast Guard and emergency services, who undoubtedly saved many lives, but sadly could not save everyone. We will await the results of the French investigation into how this particular incident unfolded. The gangs behind this appalling and callous trade in human lives have been cramming more and more people onto increasingly unseaworthy dinghies and sending them out into the Channel, even in very poor weather. They do not care about anything but the profits they make, and that is why, as well as mourning the awful loss of life, the work to dismantle these dangerous and criminal smuggler gangs and to strengthen border security is so vital and must proceed apace. Following the deaths, French Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin reportedly called for a UK-EU migration treaty to curb crossings in the wake of the tragedy. However, Downing Street rejected this, with a spokesman saying, "We have no plans to be part of an EU scheme on asylum, but we will continue to work with European partners to shut down smuggling routes and smash those criminal gangs." A man took thousands worth of council cash to employ his friend as a personal cleaner. Lee Brannan hired his friend Angela Wallace after he became eligible for a personal carer scheme run by North Lanarkshire Council. A budget was agreed for funding, and Brannan agreed to pay Wallace £200 a month. However, when she regularly received extra payments as a registered care assistant, Brannan instructed her to send him the extra cash. Brannan was arrested following a HMRC investigation into Wallace's income and benefits. Brannan, of Motherwell, Lanarkshire, appeared at Hamilton Sheriff Court and admitted obtaining £4,800 by fraud between June 2017 and September 2019. Deputy Fiscal John Coogan told the court, Brannan, who is registered as disabled, orchestrated the scam after recruiting Wallace. Sheriff John Spare ordered him to pay compensation of £4,800 and fined him £1,200. He was also ordered to pay a £75 victim surcharge. Coogan told the court, "It was suggested she work 8 hours per week for payment of £50 or £200 every 4 weeks, which she initially didn't take up, but then agreed to it. At that stage, she believed that having the title of cleaner meant the wages she was receiving were from the accused's trust fund. However, the truth was, she was employed as a personal care assistant, with that being funded by North Lanarkshire Council. Every 4 weeks thereafter, she would receive wages for her role as cleaner to her own bank account. However, on a number of occasions was overpaid, and each time there was an overpayment, she would make contact with the accused. The accused would indicate that this was an administrative error by the trust company and would request her to take her £200 wage and that the surplus balance be transferred back directly to him, and this continued throughout the period libelled. Dandan Grantos. Mitigating Ian Scott said he has health conditions and could pay compensation. Sheriff John Spare allowed Brannan to pay the order at £200 a month. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.